All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of To the Max Outdoors. It's the first week of August already, and as you can see by the fat melting off of me here, hopefully you can see it here, but it's a miserable, humid day. I'm not sure what the humidity is. I'm sure it's up in the 80. I'm sure it's up into 80% really easily, and it's probably 85, 86 degrees. But nevertheless, grandfather and I have all of our food plots planted that we're going to do this year, and we'll take a look over them in this video here. We'll just quickly, briefly go over them. I didn't really get very good reviews on the past couple of videos I did of them, so we'll just go quick with it. So, all in all, we ended up with a 1.25 acres square footage. Grandfather and I measured them all out, and like I said, an acre and a quarter overall between three different food plots is what we ended up with. And I couldn't be more pleased with what we got planted. Like I said, we're in West Virginia, we're in the woods. It's tough to get anything cleaned up. It's tough to get anything to grow. It's terrible soil around here, but anyways, I'm really happy. They're all planted, packed in, fertilized up. We're really good. Hopefully you guys caught that YouTube short I put out about the 2-week update on that micro food plot that was the last video I put out. That stuff amazed me, and I'm sure it's like a wheat grass or well, it wasn't a grass in there. It was forage wheat, and I'm assuming that's what come up, but that come up really great. I did have a camera in that, but the first night of that camera in there, a coon knocked it over. I just had it on a metal fence post stake that I pushed down in the ground, and if, for whatever reason, a coon knocked it over, and the only thing it took pictures of was squirrels and a groundhog. And there's one little spike buck, I believe. But anyways, I've got 4 trail cameras here. I got 2 wild game, and I got 2 Seamore 50s, CY50s. I'm gonna put 4 total cameras out today, and that's probably what this video is going to entail the most of, is we're going to set these cameras out over these food plots, and we'll probably put one of them out in the woods on a pretty good trail. But all in all, I'd like to thank everybody that watches these videos. I truly appreciate it, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys that do these reviews on these trail cameras and that kind of stuff. Absolutely makes my life 100 times easier. I actually bought these, while my wife bought these on Amazon Prime Day. I give like 22 bucks for them, and by watching your guys' reviews is where that's where I got the knowledge to buy them from. And there again, this YouTube community thing, I love it. You guys do great reviews, and it helped me out, and it allowed me to make a purchase easier because I know that you guys do thorough reviews and you guys test a bunch of stuff. So great job to anybody that does that. Another special thanks and shout out there, Rondi from Norcar Whitetails and Norcar Sun. Great job, man. I love what you guys do, and couldn't appreciate it any more for all the support you give me, man. It's a great idea. I love the little YouTube community that we have, and we've never met, and I love it, man. That's great. Keep it going. So I'll quit rambling on here. Like I said, we'll just pick up. We'll go to a couple different food plots. We'll stick cameras down in the ground, and I'll just give you guys a general brief rundown. Like I said, the videos are kind of slowing down for me. We're in the fall baseball season, so that's a lot more traveling for us, and I just don't have the time. So my video output is definitely going to slow down until somewhere around Columbus Day week. That's usually when things start winding down a little bit, and we'll get into some fall trout fishing, some squirrel hunting, fall turkey hunting, and then bow season by then will be in. But I can't bow hunt in 80-degree weather. I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't have the time to process a deer properly. So anyways, that's just a brief rundown of the channel, and stick with me. We'll come back in our first biggest food plot. All right, here we go. We're in our first and biggest food plot that we put in this year. We've got the Seamore CY50 in here, and you guys that did reviews on it, I absolutely love it because it's got the little screen on the front of it that you can view what you're actually taking a photo of or a video of in test mode. These are a great little camera for for the cost of them and what they produce is pretty great. I myself am okay with a little less quality picture. I only take pictures, I very rarely video, but for the price, the picture is more than justifiable for the price of that for me. I couldn't ask for a better camera. So anyways, if anybody's thinking about it, these Seamore CY50s, great camera. Like I said, any camera that you can view the screen on and see what you're actually taking a picture of is awesome. We'll walk around this food plot here just a tad bit. I'll just pick the camera up here, try to pick the whole tripod up and go around the entire food plot here. As you can see right there, I did not remove that tree that I wanted to. And the little piece that's not tilled, that's some roots and some kudzu vine in there. But this food plot here, I got high expectations for. Back there where the four-wheeler is pretty much where I'll be hunting. But that's just a quick little rundown of this food plot here. Like I said, we got our camera right there on the tree. So that camera right there should, in theory, pretty much pick up everything that will be coming through. This plot. I hope this turns out pretty good. This ended up being pretty good dirt. We got it worked up 2 good times. Got all the grass killed off of it 3 weeks ago. Come in and tilled it twice under with the tractor. I didn't video any of that. Like I said, not very good views on that stuff, but pretty much the same process. Come in and cleared the ground with some Roundup. Let that work for a couple weeks. It didn't have any new weeds come back up. Come in, tilled it with a tractor, 1.5 to 2 inches deep. Let that set for a couple weeks. And then we just came back through yesterday and tilled it back up. As deep as that little tiller we got will go, probably in that 5 to 6, 7 inch range. It was a little bit wet, and this is kind of heavy clay in here, so we made multiple passes, and you can see it here. I run it over with the four-wheeler. I broadcast all that seed out in the fertilizer and then run the four-wheeler over it. The four-wheeler is my cultipacker, so hopefully good results out of this, and I got high expectations for it. So I'll put some pictures off all these trail cameras on the social media, on Instagram, or make some YouTube shorts just to keep everybody in the loop. I hope this one produces. I got high hopes for it. I keep saying that, but I do. We do have some of the neighbors' cows that have been out for the past 4 weeks, so probably going to have a little issue with those things, but it is what it is. He's an older fella, and he's got bad fence, so try to help him out, but if the cows come in here, we're in trouble. So stay tuned, we'll get in our next spot. All right, here we are at our second location for trail camera for the late summer through early fall here. This stump right here that I put out on social media also there 2 or 3 weeks ago. This stump right here, we've been putting salt on for lots and lots of years, and as you can tell here, they've been eating around at it. And I always get some good bachelor group buck pictures here. This is in the bottom of the property, as you can tell here. My grandfather does keep it manicured like a lawn. The deer kind of converge down through here early of a morning or late of an evening, and this spot here, I typically can figure out what kind of bucks I got that are generally, let's say, living in this general area here, and I get a lot of good info off of this stump right here in the late summer. Honestly, I do. I kind of figure out what buck I'm going to go after, to be honest with you, here early season. In this walnut tree here behind us, there's a camera hanging there. That's a Wild Game Innovation. There again, those are pretty decent cameras too for the price of them. They don't have the view screen on them like that Seamore does, so I can't give it that positive review, but they've treated me well. That camera there is 6, 7 years old. I have 2 of them, and they've stayed pretty well, and I do leave those out, you know, from, like, say, after Christmas, early January. These 2 wild games will stay out until turkey season on this piece of property here in the north central part of the state, because I'm not worried about bears in here. We just have the random rogue bear, but I do. I leave these cameras out, and the batteries don't corrode in them. They're sealed up pretty well. So anyways, that's just a little justification of why I put a camera over a salt block. You know, I get my bachelor group pictures here. I kind of make a guesstimate on what buck I'm going to go after, and hopefully this camera here produces some good photos. Like I said, this is a hot spot. There's multiple trails and locations where critters come down through here, and like I said, this salt block here is it kind of brings everything together. Now I normally do run a trace mineral block or a trace mineral bag of salt, but there again, COVID's got the world messed up. All I could find was white. Now it is tore up more so now than it normally is because the cows are out, and they had my block down the hill a little bit, but I think we've got the cows contained in another neighbor's property for a bit. So hopefully, God willing, those cattle stay where they're supposed to, and that fella can come get them. So if not, this salt block won't make it very much longer because it is hot and the cows absolutely love it, and it stays wet here, and there's a creek 20 feet behind us, and they'll lay up in this brush where it's cold, drink, come down here and chew this block up. So anyway, stay with me there. We'll go to the next spot. All right, so this is the little micro food plot that we planted about 3 weeks ago now, and I couldn't be more happy with the way that this thing turned out. I really had no hopes on anything producing in here, and as you can see, it is greened up really nice. I see some clover coming up in it. I see some, I'm assuming that's the wheat and oats, which it's not wheatgrass or ryegrass. It's actually a forage grain, so it's something that's intended to grow a head on it. And I couldn't be more than happy with the way that this come up. And I actually got the fertilizer on it about 3 days after I planted it, and it fortunate enough we got a bunch of rain on it. Not a bunch of rain, but we got rain a couple different times that did really well, and not really much sunlight in here. I mean, it's 10:15 after 1 o'clock right now. Yeah, it's 10:15 after 1, and as you can see, we're not getting a whole bunch of sun in here. Now it is partly cloudy and the sun's covered by a cloud right now, but it doesn't really get that much sun in here. I did have, like I said, I had a camera here on a fence post stake that I did have one big spike. I mean, big giant fork-horn spike. I don't know where it came from. Never seen a deer like that here before. So, and then the coon knocked the camera down, so I didn't get nothing but groundhogs and whatever. But I do have a Sycamore CY50 over there on that tree right now that's actually probably messed up. It's taking pictures of me doing this video, but oh well. It's set up for pictures only anyways, and there again with the view screen on that camera, when you're setting it up in test mode, I was able to position that camera that it sees this entire little micro food plot. No matter where the deer come in and out of this little plot, that camera is going to catch them on the back side, front side, whatever. So I'm really happy with that, and this camera here, I hope to be putting some decent pictures out on social media. I'm really happy with it, and this will be one of the first spots that I hunt early season whenever I feel like I'm ready to take care of a deer. If I have a day or two off afterwards and it's warm, then I'll come out and go after a buck. I won't say a giant buck, because a good buck to me is whatever the better buck on this property is, and these cameras will let me know pretty much what the better buck is that's roaming around here. Now we do get the random 130, 140 inch deer, but typically we're 100-inch deer. That's just the area, that's the genetics, that's West Virginia in general. There's no agriculture. My goodness, they got to live off a hickory nut if the acorns don't hit, so it just is what it is. And that's why I think this little micro food plot will probably be key. You know, if this stuff will keep when the wood starts to die back, when the underbrush dies back, hopefully if this keeps a little bit, maybe we can connect the dots on one right here and make it happen. So anyways, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna go set one more camera in the woods, and then I'll come back on the final bigger food plot, bigger than this, but not as big as the first one. All right, here we are on our fourth and final camera stop of the day here. Got the camera in a little hand holder there. Hopefully you can kind of see this trail comes down off that's a low gap up through there. comes down, crosses this little water injection right away, comes down into this is like a ridge top bowl for our property that we intentionally keep this thick down through here. And as you'll see right there in front of me, I got a wild game on the tree. Let's try to get down. I don't know if that's going to come out or not, but super heavily used. Oh, we got a well tender going by. But super heavily used game trail right here. I hope that comes out on the video there. Right beside that mushroom right there. Well, I can't really see if it's coming out or not. You'll have to take my word for it, but there you go. There it's coming out. That's the game trail that goes down into this ridge right here. Breaks off into 3 fingers, and each one of these fingers have a hog back in it. And like I said, we've intentionally kept them thick over the years and not let any big mature trees grow up in there other than what's there. And this is a super great daytime bedding area out through here, but it's really hard to hunt. Like, you have to be right on the deer to hunt it. It's really tough to do, but it's paid off over the years for us, and we've taken some nice deer out of here. So there again, always have high hopes for this area right here. So we shall see what happens, but we'll meet up here in the final food plot and we'll do the little closing thing. All right, everybody, here we go. We're in our third and final food plot of the 22-23 season. You can see this food plot here. It's 25 yards long and 25 yards wide and 120 yards long. Now, this food plot does have a lot more grass in it than we'd like to have, but the weather didn't allow us to till it a whole bunch, and we did not spray Roundup on this one because we got 2 main little creeks. A feeder creek and then the main creek on the side of the road there that ultimately they put in a river within a half a mile. So we try not to spray Roundup. We try to stay and do what the directions say. We try to keep that stuff out of the system. That little river this feeds is a pretty good smallmouth fishery and catfish, so try to keep it be. And there again, this food plot doesn't really get hunted that hard. My grandfather's little shooting shack behind it, he takes some pictures out of it. Ultimately, this food plot right here will probably be for Max or myself to kill an early season doe out of. With the cameras that I have been running and just me paying attention to the woods, I'm seeing a lot of doe with double fawns, you know, twins or triplets. So Grandpa and I talked about it. I think we're going to take a couple doe early this year and try to get some jerky and steaks in the freezer early. The deer numbers seem to be coming back up for this season, so I'm really pleased there. There's a pretty good group of deer back in this hall again. There for a few years we got kind of slow, but we're seeing a good number of deer again in here, so we're going to take some deer. We've struggled the past few years putting some meat in the freezer, and the intent is to put a couple in them early this year. So we do have a camera here. It is a antique wild game. It's back there in that maple tree. It doesn't do very good at taking pictures, but it's all I have right now. I do have 2 more Seymour CY50s on order, but I really fell in love with those cameras. But until then, we're going to run that wild game until I can get back up here to switch it out. But anyways, I thank everybody for watching, and stay tuned. Like I said, the content's going to slow down a little bit, probably until we get in that October range. To be honest with you, it'll slow down. It's just the way it is, the way life is right now. Work is super busy. Max travels a lot on the weekends for fall baseball, and I appreciate everybody watching and commenting, and really do love the YouTube community we have. So thanks for watching To The Max Outdoors.